In 1985, a hot dog and a soda at Costco cost $1.50. Since then, the price of a house has gone up about 5 times, a car about 4 times, a movie ticket 3.5, the hot dog still $1.50. Last year, Costco sold 245 million of these combos, and on almost every single one, it loses money, on purpose. When a CEO once suggested raising the price, his boss reportedly told him, and this is a real quote, "If you raise the hot dog, I will kill you." Why would one of the most disciplined retailers on earth threaten murder over a hot dog? Because that hot dog isn't food. It's the most effective advertisement in retail history, the anchor of a $250 billion machine. And once you see what it's actually advertising, you'll never look at Costco, or any cheap price, the same way again. Start with the thing that makes no sense. Costco is one of the largest retailers on the planet, roughly $250 billion in annual revenue. And yet, judged as a retailer, it's almost comically bad at making money. Its profit margin on the stuff it sells hovers around 2 to 3%. Walmart does better. Target does much better. That's not an accident, it's policy. Costco caps its markup at roughly 14% on brand name goods, about 15% on its own Kirkland brand. The industry norm is 25 to 50%. When Costco negotiates a better price from a supplier, it doesn't pocket the difference. It passes it on. There are stories of executives being reprimanded not for prices that were too low, but too high. So where does the money come from? Flip open the annual report, and the answer is sitting in one line most shoppers never see. In fiscal 2025, Costco collected $5.3 billion in membership fees. Not from selling anything, just from the card. $65 a year for a basic membership, $130 for executive, collected from over 140 million cardholders before they buy a single thing. Here's the punchline. That fee line is almost pure profit. There's no product to buy, no shipping, no shrinkage. $5.3 billion in fees against $10.4 billion in total operating profit. The card alone is roughly half of everything Costco earns from operations and about 2/3 of its bottom line net income. The groceries, the TVs, the 27-pound tubs of mac and cheese. Collectively, they're closer to a break-even operation. Costco isn't a store that charges a membership, it's a membership that runs a store. Once you see the membership as the product, every weird thing about Costco snaps into focus. Why the warehouses look like warehouses. Concrete floors, pallet racking, no signs telling you where anything is. That's not laziness, it's theater with a function. Every dollar not spent on presentation is proof to the member that their fee isn't funding chandeliers. The ugliness is the brand. Why there are only 4,000 products. A Walmart supercenter carries over 100,000 items. Costco carries about 4,000. One brand of ketchup, maybe 2 of olive oil. This does 2 things. It gives Costco terrifying negotiating power. Getting your ketchup into Costco means selling oceans of it, so suppliers cut their best price. And it quietly deletes the shopper's fear of choosing wrong. Costco already chose for you. That's the deal. Pay the fee, stop second-guessing. Why the house brand is a weapon, not a compromise. Kirkland's signature, the store brand, is somewhere around 1/3 of everything Costco sells. As a standalone business, it would outsell Nike. And it breaks every rule of private labels. Store brands are usually where retailers hide their fattest margins. Kirkland is capped at roughly 15%, barely above the branded stuff. It's frequently made by the exact manufacturers of the brands it sits next to. Same factories, different label, and priced about 20% below them. So what's it for? Discipline. Kirkland is a standing threat. Give Costco your best price, or Costco will make your product itself, put it on the same shelf, and its members, who trust the Kirkland label because of everything else in this video, will switch without blinking. The house brand isn't a product line. It's a negotiating weapon that keeps 4,000 other prices honest. Why the treasure hunt exists. About 1/4 of the floor rotates constantly. The kayak next to the gold bars, next to the massage chair. Members come back weekly just to see, because it might be gone next time. Retail people call this the treasure hunt. It's a habit loop built out of scarcity that no algorithm had to invent. But all of it, the ugly flaws, the 4,000 products, Kirkland, the treasure hunt, serves one master metric, and it's not sales. It's the renewal rate. In the US and Canada, 92.3% of members renew every single year. That is a retention number software companies would sell their founders for. Netflix churns more than Costco does, and here's where it gets really clever. Costco convinced nearly half of its paying members to volunteer to pay double. The executive tier, $130 instead of $65, in exchange for 2% back on what you buy. Run the math. You need to spend about $6,500 a year, $125 a week, just to break even on the upgrade. Millions of households do it anyway. And once you're in, the psychology flips. Every grocery run you make somewhere else now feels like losing your 2%. The reward doesn't cost Costco loyalty. It manufactures it. Executive members are a minority of cardholders, but drive well over half of everything Costco sells, and they renew at even higher rates. They even stress-tested the whole machine recently. In September 2024, Costco raised its fees for the first time in 7 years. $60 to $65, $120 to $130. The textbook says you lose members. The renewal rate barely moved. When trust is the product, a $5 price increase on trust just clears. And renewal is a psychological transaction, not a financial one. Nobody reruns the math on their membership every year. They renew because of a feeling. Costco never rips me off. Protect that feeling, and $5 billion a year walks in the door by itself. Damage it, and the entire machine seizes. Which brings us back to the hot dog. Call something a loss leader, and you're saying, we lose money here, so you'll buy profitable things over there. Milk at the back of the supermarket. That's not what the hot dog is. The hot dog is a price anchor for trust. It's the one price every single member has memorized. Nobody knows what Costco charged for rotisserie chicken in 1997. Everybody knows the hot dog is $1.50, was $1.50, will always be $1.50. It's the North Star that makes every other price in the building feel honest. You can't check the markup on 4,000 items. You don't have to. The hot dog checks it for you. That's why the number can never move. The moment it hits 1.75, the message isn't inflation. The message is, Costco has started rounding against you. The renewal feeling takes the hit. Jim Sinegal, the founder, understood that the $1.50 wasn't a price. It was a promise with a price tag on it. Hence the death threat, delivered, by the way, to the man who was running the company at the time. And look at the lengths Costco goes to defend it. When soda costs rose, they switched suppliers. When the kosher hot dog supplier couldn't keep up, Costco built its own hot dog factory, vertically integrating sausage production rather than raise the price. In 2025, they even re-engineered the combo's drink options rather than touch the number. 245 million combos a year at a small loss each. That's a marketing budget. Most companies pay Google and Meta billions to buy trust-adjacent attention. Costco spends it on polyethylene-wrapped beef and gets lines out the door for its advertisement. Here's the part most business coverage misses. Every company on Earth now wants recurring revenue. Software subscriptions, streaming, membership tiers bolted onto airlines and burger chains. But most of them get the direction backwards. They use the subscription to extract, lock the customer in, then quietly raise prices and shave quality, because churn is annoying and switching is work. Costco runs the subscription in reverse. The fee isn't the license to squeeze you. The fee is the only place it profits, which forces every other part of the business to stay provably on your side. The moment Costco marks up like a normal retailer, it becomes a normal retailer, and nobody pays $65 for the right to shop at a normal retailer. The business model doesn't just permit the honesty, it requires it. That's the real lesson of the $1.50 hot dog, and it applies to any business you'll ever run or buy from. Look for where the profit actually lives, and you'll know exactly whose side the company has to be on. When the profit lives in the markup, the customer is the target. When the profit lives in the renewal, the customer is the asset. $1.50 doesn't buy much anymore. At Costco, it buys the whole strategy. Costco built an empire by refusing to raise one price. Nokia owned half the world's phones and lost it all in 5 years. That collapse is next.